Hey folks, Sal here, and we are still here at the New York Stationery Show, and we are with our good friends at Jaffa Brands talking about some Pineiders and some Monteverde and some really cool stuff. We're going to start with a new Pineider, forged carbon, limited edition fountain and roller. Really cool pen, just like everything else cool that comes from Dante. And Ross was just telling me the story about this, so I'm going to kind of let Ross take it from here and tell you the cool things about this material and this pen and everything else.
Well, so what it is, what you first notice when you look at it, it doesn't have the typical woven aspect that you would see on carbon fiber, and it also has a lot more weight than you would expect. Carbon fiber pens are typically very light in weight, whereas this is solid forged carbon. What they do is they take discontinuous strands of carbon fiber and it gets molded under heat and pressure until it melts the carbon fibers to just the right degree so that they form together in this mass, and it has to be done just right. If it's a little bit too much, the fibers will melt and you have to throw everything away. If you do it too little, then what happens is you don't get the shimmer, the
three-dimensional
aspect that
you get,
or the strength and other things. This is a technique that basically comes out of Formula One industry. So a lot of different technicians and scientists, and they're always in Formula One looking for the lightest and strongest possible. And so that's kind of like where this technique involves. And the other big plus with this is that it enables you to shape it somewhat, whereas carbon fiber normally has to be pretty much cylindrical. You'll see a lot of sometimes less expensive carbon fiber pens out there, but it's always in a straight line because that's all you can do with it, because it's a tube. Where this, because you're able to press it in a mold under pressure and heat, you can add a little bit of shape to it as well.
Definitely very technical looking material, but also very basic, rudimentary, metallic feel. But the coolest part about it is this three-dimensional look combined together with the little quirks that Dante has with the magnetic cap closure and the beautiful nib. Just brings it out perfectly. And then the mystery piston filler, of course.
Right, exactly. And a mystery filler, for those of you who don't know what that is, so here's your piston filling mechanism. So this pen does not need a blind cap. So this would be your writing position. When you're ready to fill the pen, you just press the button, turn to fill, and then when you're done, press it back in and you're ready to go.
Awesome.
And of course, these Pineider pens always have the dual magnets in front. So just a little twist and it pushes the cap right off, so it kind of acts like there's a thread there, but instead it's resistance from the two magnets, and then you have a nice magnet on the back to keep everything
to hold it together.
Secure, yeah.
There's some notebooks from Pineider to match every color in the Pineider avatars. And you want to tell us about these?
Right. Well, the Avatar UR, this came out, earlier this year, and it's been very successful. This is the ultra resin avatars that has this resin that's virtually unbreakable. Something that's also new to Pineider, where one of the first pens out there, the first pen out there where they're able to do these ultra resins, but in bright colors. Where typically, like this comes out of the aviation industry for making aircraft and whatnot, and typically it's black or all solid colors. And Dante figured out a way to add beautiful marbleization to it and make it a really stunning pen.
Yes, it does pop a lot. Like I'm sure the video makes everything look cool, but in real life, when you see resins, sometimes they don't look as good in real life when you look at them in a picture. These definitely pop. There's a lot of contrast.
For sure.
They're beautiful
they're
looking.
Just pretty.
Yes,
and we know Pineider is, since 1774, Pineider Firenze is a paper company. This is what they're best known for worldwide. So the pens, of course, are very important to us, and it's Dante's specialty, but papers are Pineider's specialty. So what this Hollywood journal is this is their first foray that for them would be considered an entry-level journal. And now if you are familiar with Pineider and kind of like where the price points end up, this is going to retail in the $40 range. So for us, that's a very moderate price point. The paper is all certified for fountain pen use, 90-gram paper. In each book, It tells you the story of Pineider and the paper and how it's milled and things like that. And there's a lot of really great videos out there online where it shows the Pineider factory and how they had the process for making these papers.
We did take one of these. Thank you, Ross. And we're going to take it to Tom and probably do some videos on these with the fountain pen test.
Yeah, play with it and
if anybody's interested,
see how you like it.
That should be coming soon as well.
So this is Avatar UR Demonstrator. And so it's the same technology, so it's again virtually indestructible, but we're able to do it in demonstrators. And Dante being Dante, he wasn't satisfied with just doing a demonstrator, but he wanted to, as long as you're doing it, may as well let people know what the ink levels are for whatever refill is in the pen. So the fountain pen takes a standard converter, but of course beautifully finished for Pineider, and then we have an ink level monitor printed on the converter, and then on the rollerball as well, ink level monitor on your clear rollerball refill, and the ballpoint pen, same thing.
Very cool.
Clear, so you can monitor your ink.
That's equal opportunity.
Yeah.
Usually fountain pen users get these features all the time.
For us, for Jaffa, for Pineider, and for most of the brands we do with Jaffa, fountain pens are more than 50% of the business, usually substantially more. In the Avatar line, the rollers and ballpoints have been probably combined neck and neck with the fountain pens.
Yes.
So they've been very strong.
One of my favorite things to carry, which is not here, I thought we had one.
Engage Demo?
The Engage Demo, right here. We had a bunch of these and then we didn't, and I think we're getting some more. This is probably the coolest pen that I could ever carry in my pocket because I'm sloppy with inks. This is an Engage Demo. You can almost refer to this as a retractable fountain pen for all essential purposes. You can actually see the color of your ink and still carry it in your pocket and just have it ready to go in one click.
And you can fill it directly from a bottle, so virtually any fountain pen ink there. Now the Monteverde inks, the ITF technology was actually kind of designed with this kind of technology in mind. The point is so fine that the added lubricant really makes it flow best on this pen. So Monteverde inks are great, but virtually any shimmery inks, you'll have to tell me. Play with shimmery inks and you tell me.
If I ruin it, then you will send
then
me
I'll give you another one.
All right. Then I will try it for you.
But now, and you can, that has a converter in it now for bottle fill, but you can also put in standard international ink cartridges as well. So it's pretty universal.
Very cool. So I would carry this myself.
But the other unique thing now, the tip on that is, it's not the only pen on the market that has a tip like that. There's been other things called non-stop rollers and whatnot, but they've always been capped. The Engage is the only retractable one on the market. That's something that our founder, Yair Greenberg, invented probably about 10 years ago now, and we're the only one who has it.
We also have a cool little thing here that we talked about earlier. We do not have these right now. This is the Sweet Life ink collection from Monteverde. Really, really cool colors, and they just caught my eye right away as soon as we saw them in the shelf there. It's basically 10 bottles.
These are the 30 ml bottles. So the theme here is Sweet Life. So each different ink has a different pastry that it's connected to, mango, mousse, birthday cake, and so if they're not fragrant inks, but the colors are going to match the name of the sweet. And I mean there's like a really beautiful color. And this is the first time that where we've done all of the packaging, where everything, the outside of the box, we did dedicated packaging for every single one, rather than just doing a label on the bottle.
Standard box, yes. And they definitely do bring out the color. I love the transparency and just the saturation of the ink. We don't have these available on Goldspot right now, but we will very soon. And tell us your thoughts on these if you think this is something that would be interesting to have. These only come as a 10-pack right now.
No. This is we're showing it here as a 10-pack, but they're all available individually as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can buy each one for the same price as all of the Monteverde inks.
Very nice.
Same pricing, or you can buy the 10-piece set.
Or buy the gift set, which is a wonderful, beautiful gift set actually.
Yep.
So. Ross, you did mention one thing you wanted us to look at, which is these Yookers, and you call them
They're refillable felt tip pens. So basically the same idea as the Engage that we talked about, similar only in the fact just that it uses fountain pen ink, whereas the Engage is retractable and it's a rollerball. The Yookers is a felt tip pen, and actually they're calling it felt tip, but you know I believe it's really more of a nylon tip.
Yes.
They're available.
You said, you know, if you don't know what it is, just write with it once and you'll know what it is.
Exactly. And anyone who's written with a micron marker or something like that, it's like just like that ultra smooth feel. But this is the first time it's been available with fountain pen ink. So you can put any color under the sun in there. When you put a cartridge in, the ink starts flowing within like less than 5 seconds, and it just goes and goes. I've been testing them on my desk for a month and a half now, and I can put it down. I mean, I travel all the time. I'll be gone for 2 weeks. I'll come back and it just writes. And multiple point sizes, 0.8, 1.0, 1.2, 1.4. And we do this inexpensive plastic version, and then we also do a little bit nicer metal version, which is pretty cool. Threaded, nice weight. Try that one too.
Yes, they certainly have the feel of a fountain pen, that's for sure.
Exactly.
We don't offer these on Goldspot right now, but tell us what you think, and is this something that looks interesting? You know, we can certainly offer them. They are a cool little different variation, very similar to the Engage, but a little more carry friendly.
Yeah, in a way, yep.
So, thanks very much, Ross, for all the cool new stuff as usual.
As always.
And that's a sign off from our friends at Yafa Brands here at the New York Stationery Show. We'll see you back at Goldspot.
Bye.